Welcome to the Integrate This EdTech podcast. We are continuing our Tech in 10 series. This is our second tool. If you are coming to this later on, make sure that you check out all the tools that are in this series by going to the playlist. On this video, we're going to actually talk a bit about Copilot and some of the things that can be found in Copilot when you're going into it. This is one too, like for me, there's always been so much talk about like ChatGPT and Gemini and things like that. So covering Copilot is also important. There's a lot of stuff that's available through that, especially if you're a Microsoft school. You'll have things available to you like through your M365 account where you'd be able to create agents and things like that. We're not going to cover that in this video. We're just going to talk kind of more generally about Copilot and what is accessible for anybody that would go there and just use it without signing in or signing in. And so we're going to take a look at Copilot. And if you've used ChatGPT or if you've used Gemini, you're going to see some familiarity there because it's going to have somewhat of a similar interface, right? Where you're talking through to the chat bot within this space. So this is always where we're kind of putting in our normal things like write me a lesson plan, stuff like this on Minnesota State Standard for social studies, something like that. The one thing that you'll notice is with a lot of these tools, actually, I've noticed this more and more where you have the ability to change the type of like depth of response or how it responds. This is just putting in a real basic prompt and then getting our product, like always in many of these large language models. But here you can see there's a little drop down that allows you to change how the response interacts with you. The think deeper response, like all of these have, where it's going to, I guess you could say, contemplate what it is you're asking for a bit longer to generate a better response. Or maybe if you have something where it's requiring like a multi-step process, maybe that's more appropriate for that so it can work through that process. Either way, but you have the option to switch some of these things around and kind of play with them. The other thing you'll notice is that there is an integration with ChatGPT 5 that you can actually switch to and get into through Copilot. So there's a connection there with it being Microsoft where you can use ChatGPT through Copilot. So that's something that if you're like, hey, I want to just stay within this Microsoft ecosphere, then we can operate with ChatGPT using it, which is kind of nice, makes it more accessible. And then you have your study and learn, and a lot of them too with any of the large language models, you're seeing where you can do like the study guide type style things or guided learning, sometimes it's called, right? And so you can choose that too, and you can have it create something based off that. So since we're on a lesson plan here, maybe we say, generate a quiz for me on this topic in the lesson, something like that. And then it'll start to pull that together and create our quiz for us. But this is just something I would say you can play around with. Whatever it is that you're working on, you can try out the different styles there or different options and what it could possibly give you. Like here you can see its version of a quiz that you can actually interact with. So you could put, you can kind of work through this too if you want. But just know this is not where we're like creating a quiz. Just for reference here, we're not creating a quiz. This is in the study and learn. It is more for like you to learn whatever the topic is. If you want to create a quiz, you could still do that. Generally speaking, like through your lesson plan or through your like normal prompting. There is one other option here where you have your export You could take and copy that for other people to take if you want to. So you can share that out to people. But again, if you're wanting to deliver like a quiz for a lesson plan, it's a little bit different how you can approach that. You'll have your kind of standard things here on the bar as well, where you have your new and upload. So new conversation, you can start that, or you can go and upload and grab something to start working off of a document from there, and then ask questions about it, or have it generate something that is like the document that you're putting in. So the other thing too is you'll have your talk to Copilot option, which is nice if you want to just be able to conversate. That's becoming more and more popular now.
Hey there. Hey there. Sounds like you're just settling in. What's on your mind today?
I want to learn about Microsoft Copilot, and I'd like to actually learn about the Discover feature.
All right, so here's the scoop on Microsoft Copilot's Discover feature as we roll into late 2025. Microsoft's been busy enhancing Copilot with tons of fresh updates. Basically, the Discover feature is all about giving you a peek at these new capabilities, helping you stumble on cool functionalities that you
Hang on a
might not.
second. Okay. You can change the voices and things too if you want to, but let's just jump out of this first. That just kind of shows you like how you can interact with it through voice. But then when you do hit the X, when you get out of that conversation, you'll notice that there is like a breakdown of what was being said. So the one thing is when you're in that window, obviously you're having to take all that in through auditory. So if you want to look at that after the fact, they do provide like this space where you can look at where was it pulling the information from. You could edit the information. You could you have some ways to work with that information that was created. But then I do like where it actually transcribes what the conversation was too. So that's good. We could have taken that further. You could have kept working through that. So that's a great one to play around with. On the left-hand side here, you're going to notice a couple different things that I'll take you through briefly. One of them is the Discover page. So there's a number of different things on here. Like you'll have like your weather. You can check out the Copilot podcasts. There's a Copilot daily, which is kind of interesting because if you play that, it will tell you what.
Today is Tuesday, September 30th. Here's a tech tidbit.
Okay.
Did you know that the first email was sent by Ray Tomlinson to himself in 1971? And now, here's the news you need to know today.
Okay, so there's stories to explore, ideas to explore. There's a bunch of different things that you could check out through here, but the Discover feature is basically to just kind of jump in and start looking at different things as you want to, or whatever piques your interest. You can check that out. The second is the Creator Gallery. So here you can look at different things that have been created and then try to modify on your own or whatever you want to do. So like if we wanted to take this picture, we could remix that picture and say, put this dog on a skyscraper, something like that. Just kind of having some fun, messing around, seeing what it can do. It says elevating this pup to new heights. All right, and there you have it. We have our dog from the water is now on a skyscraper. So you can play around with that, download it, share it, whatever you want to do. But again, check out the Creator Gallery just for fun. Then you have labs. There's different labs that you can jump into, and they're going to be kind of more complex than just jumping into our Creator Gallery. All right, the last thing I'll show you here is the Create a Page. And with this, you can start with having a conversation and creating something. So I could say like, write me a paper on the Integrate This podcast. And you'll have on the right-hand side where you can continue to have conversations and have it tweak things, but you'll also be able to, on the left-hand side in this canvas area, you'll be able to interact and edit it much like you would in Google Docs or Word or things like that. So You can either reject the page, or in this case, like we might just apply the revision and we can make some changes to it, and then kind of wrap up and put it however we want. So there's some editing capabilities there. So that's kind of what you can do if you're just going to Copilot for the first time and you want to try it out. There's a number of different things to explore that are fun. And then you can also get into like your normal creation things, just like you've seen in ChatGPT or Gemini and other tools as well.